close down the eyes in preparation for your practice. And just take a couple of long, smooth, and deep breaths. As you inhale, visualize the lungs drawing all the way down towards the lower belly. And as you exhale, empty out the lungs completely. Once you've taken your deepest inhalation, a tiny sip more of air, the very top of that inhale. And then once you feel you've expressed your deepest exhalation, a tiny bit more emptying out. Honing that awareness even more, your deepest inhale. And at the top of the inhale, pause for 1 second. And continue with your deepest exhale, your fullest exhalation. At the very end of that exhale, pause for 1 second and transition back into the inhalation. Pause at the top of the inhale. Exhale. Pause at the end of your exhale. And repeat that one more time. Then begin to adjust your posture, so moving sort of in reverse. Root down through the sitting bones and sit a little bit taller. Visualize the natural curvature of your spine, your lower back, the mid-back rounding just slightly out, then the neck drawing back inwards and the back of the head drawing slightly back to align your ears over your shoulders. Imagine shoulders aligning over the hips. And back down to the base, your foundation. Feel the outer edges of your feet on the mat. Notice the weight of your hands on your knees. Bring your awareness to your pelvis. Lift the front hip bones up. And you should feel a gentle contraction of the lower abdominals. Begin to lengthen and lift along the front line of the body. Heart center rises, chin parallel with the earth. Soften along the back line of the body, shoulders away from the ears, shoulder blades descend. Soften the tailbone down. One more time like this. Lengthening and lifting on the inhale. Softening and lowering as you exhale. Bring your awareness back to the breath once again in that same cycle that we did at the beginning, before postural awareness. Inhale downwards towards the lower belly. Pause at the very top of that inhale. And then exhale fully. Pause at the end of that exhale. And one more time like that. On your next inhale, lift and lengthen along the midline, along the spinal column, lifting from the crown of the head and the highest points of the ears. Exhale and round the spine, draw the chin towards the chest. Soften your shoulders inwards, broaden across the upper back. Feel your shoulder blades separate away from the spine. And pull the hands against the knees. Inhale, lift your heart center, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale as you round chin to the chest. Inhale, heart center, lift, shoulder blades squeeze together. Exhale as you round and start to move through spinal rotations. So the inhale draws the torso forward. Exhale as you round out the spine. Just starting to warm up and lubricate the joints of the body. On your next inhale, change the direction. And allow the rotations to get smaller and smaller and smaller until you come back to a center line. Stack one vertebra on top of the next. Inhale, sit tall. Pause at the top of that inhale. Suspend the breath. And slowly and patiently exhale. Exhale, empty out the lungs fully. And allow the breath to find its natural rhythm. Take note of which shin is crossed in front. And uncross your legs, take them nice and wide. And just walk your way forward. So not a lot of emphasis on alignment here or the final details of the posture. Again, just kind of starting to warm things up after the weekend. I know you're all dedicated yogis and you probably practiced for an hour a day, but just in case you're feeling a little bit stiff, starting to sort of brush off the rust, the dust. Walk your way back up through center. Take the hands under the knees. Guide the soles of your feet together and fold. Again, not your deepest expression of the pose, but just warming up. And take the knees side by side. Extend your left leg forward. Wrap your left arm around. A gentle spinal twist facing right. Face forward, extend the right leg, bend your left knee, and turn to face left. Back to center and cross your opposite shin in front. Take the thumbs to the hip crease, right at the tops of the thighs, and hinge forward with a long spine. So hinging from those hip creases. Keep the back nice and flat if possible. Then start to walk the fingertips forward. Hook your fingerprints into the floor. Drag the torso further forward. Soften the chin towards the chest and reach the crown of the head towards your thumbs. Without necessarily using your hands, visualize the hip creases deepening as the sitting bones continue to reach back towards the mat. Walk back up through center, tent your fingertips in behind you, roll your shoulders back and down. Pivot to face right. Extend your left arm forward. Walk the fingertips as far forward as you can. Use the right hand kind of like a steering wheel to help you soften the outer left shoulder down and rotate the chest any amount to the right. And keep stretching and elongating through the left side. Breathe into the left rib cage. See if you can feel that it is fanning open as you inhale. And plant the right hand closer to your hip. Take the left arm, spin it along the plane of your cheek, reach through the fingertips. Keep pushing into the lower hand to turn to face the side wall. See if you can lengthen through the inner seam of the arm, ring and baby finger side. Keep stretching. And push into your lower hand to rise back up. Tent the fingertips behind you, roll your shoulders back and down, turn to face left. Extend that right arm forward, hook your fingerprints into the floor, drag the hand as far forward as you can. Use your left hand, press into the fingertips to help soften the outer right shoulder down. And take your left hand closer to you. Press into that hand, extend the right arm along the plane of the cheek. Reaching with the ring and baby finger side. Push into your lower hand, rise up. Tent the fingertips behind you, roll the shoulders back and down, visualize a flat back. Imagine the hip creases deepening as you fold forward. So focus less on where you're going with the nose, for example, and more on deepening those hip creases. Pause when you feel your back start to round. Release the spine down towards the floor rather than rounding up towards the ceiling, and interlace your hands behind you. You've got to anchor the sitting bones into the floor for balance. Roll the shoulders back and down. Reach the knuckles of the hands towards the wall behind you. Keep deepening the hip creases as you draw further and further forward. Think more about length than you are about bringing the nose to the floor. Soften the muscles of the face and the gaze. Come all the way back up through center. Take the knuckles of the hands all the way down to the floor behind you. Soften your elbows, press into the knuckles of the hands, and lift your heart center. And back up to neutral for a spinal twist to your right. Come back through center, a spinal twist to the left. And back to center. Swing your legs to the side. Come onto the hands and knees. Turn your toes under, start to move through cat-cow. Arching on the inhale, the spine drops down towards the floor. Exhale and round, push your spine towards the sky. Inhale, lift the sitting bones up, feel your pelvis tilt forward. Exhale and round, scoop the tailbone under. Full deep breath in. And exhale. Another inhale. And exhale. Lower down onto the forearms, interlace your fingers. Press the forearms downwards into the floor. Pull the belly in towards the spine, so try not to let the rib cage drop down towards the mat. Extend your right leg. So bring some padding under that left knee if you need it or want it. Send the tailbone towards the back heel. Draw the belly towards the spine. Press your forearms into the mat so you can imagine the space between the shoulder blades moving up towards the sky. Squeeze your right glutes to lift the right leg up. Press back through the right heel. Cross the leg over to the left. Drop the toes to the floor. Push back through the right heel. Look over the left shoulder and see if you can find the foot. And return to center. Bend the right knee. Turn your left toes under as you press back through the left heel. Absorb the front ribs. Slide the tailbone towards the back heel. Press your forearms into the mat. Squeeze your left glutes. Float the leg up. Cross the leg over to the right. Plant the toes, press back through the heel. Look over your right shoulder, see if you can find the foot. And come back through center. Bend the knees, lift back up palms of the hands. Take an inhale, arching, sitting bones lift. Exhale, round the spine, pull your belly in and hover the knees above the mat. Press back, half downward facing dog. Full downward facing dog, legs straight. Pedal out the heels, bend one knee and then the other, just a little shift of your hips, a little rotation through the pelvis. And then find stillness. Heels hide behind the toes, fingerprints pressing into the floor, and you can imagine sliding the hands forward. As you do that, the torso moves closer to the thighs. Lower your knees to the floor, but separate them wide apart. Take your big toes to touch. Rotate the hands 30 degrees out to the sides. Cat-cow with an inhale. Turn the creases of your elbows forward. Lift the sitting bones. Exhale, push into the hands. Scoop the tailbone under. One more time. Breathe in. And exhale. Turn the left fingertips to face forward. Walk that hand a tiny bit further forward. Push into your left hand, and with an inhale, reach your right arm up. Soften the left rib cage down and draw the rib cage forward. So focus more on the rib cage than you are on that upper arm. And drop the right hand in behind your left one and start to slide the hips back towards the heels. Walk the left arm further forward overhead. Lower the forehead towards the earth. And you're just moving in that direction. So hips aren't coming to the heels, forehead not necessarily coming to the mat, you're just moving in that direction. And press into your left hand to slide the right arm through. Walk the left hand back in a little bit closer. Walk your right hand slightly further forward. Press into your right hand. Take an inhale. Stretch the left arm up and feel the rotation through the rib cage. Slide the left arm in behind your right one. Slide the hips back in the direction of the heels. Walk your right hand forward. Forehead moving towards the earth. Slide your left arm through. Hands come side by side. Take the knees back to hip width distance. Turn your toes under. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, pull the belly in and hover your knees above the mat. Downward facing dog. Heels hide behind the toes. Fingerprints connecting with the floor, and you're pressing the mat forward with your hands. And attempt to wrap the upper arm muscles, your triceps, around towards the floor. Feel a broadening, a widening across the upper back.
Walk your hands to your feet, come to the back of the mat and fold forward over the legs. It's nice to bend the knees the first couple of rounds. Take opposite hand to elbow, pull the elbows towards the tops of the feet. Soften the chin towards the chest. Bend the knees enough that the belly comes close to the thighs. So you actually target a little bit more of the gluteal muscles when you fold forward with the knees bent. People tend to think that you're cheating for some reason, but there's no cheating. There's just a different emphasis on the stretch. So here, more in through the glutes. You can straighten out the legs and maybe you'll feel more of a stretch in through the hamstrings. And rock from side to side. Find your way back to neutral. Take your left fingertips to the floor, bend your left knee and stretch the right arm up. Rotation with the focus on the rib cage. Lower the right hand down and take a hold of your left leg. Draw the forehead towards the knee or the shin. And then slowly straighten out the left leg, still drawing the forehead towards the knee or shin. Release the right fingertips down, bend your right knee and stretch your left arm up. Rotation through the rib cage, less emphasis on that left arm. And drop your left hand down, find the right leg, forehead towards the knee. Straighten out the right leg. Keep folding forward. And come back through center. Walk forward to downward facing dog. Press into the balls of the feet and slide the mat back without actually doing so. So even though the mat doesn't slide back, you'll feel a change in the stretch, both the stretch and the strength. Rise up onto your toes, look forward, come to the top of the mat, lift halfway up, and fold as you exhale. Hands come to the low back, ground down through the feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Press the tailbone towards the floor, a baby back bend as you arch and slide the hips forward. Return to center. Keep the right hand to the hip. Stretch your left arm up, breathe in, and hinge over to the side, exhale. Squeeze the inner knees together. Squeeze the heels towards each other. Take a hold of the upper thigh with your right hand. Take the left hand behind your head, supporting the weight of your head. Pull against the thigh to squeeze the pelvis forward. Keep softening the front ribs back. And come back to center. Drop the left hand to the hip. Stretch your right arm up. Inhale. Exhale and hinge to the side. Squeeze the inner knees together. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Squeeze the inner ankles together. Left hand grips the upper thigh. Take the right hand in behind the head and pull the hips forward while leaning slightly back with the upper torso. And come back up through center. Separate your feet hip width distance. Fold forward over the legs. Take the awkward interlacing of your hands behind you. Lift your arms up off your back. Shift the arms gently from side to side, getting into the shoulders. Lift your torso halfway up. Pull the belly in towards the spine. Send your tailbone towards the back wall. And bend your right knee. Drop your right shoulder. Look to the left. Come back through center, bend the left knee, drop the left shoulder, and look to the right. Come back to center, release the arms, but come right up into chair pose with an inhale, bend your knees, stretch the arms up overhead. Lift your toes, spread them out, root down through the heels, and then soften the toes down without gripping. Inhale here with a long spine. Exhale, rock into the balls of the feet and slide the fingertips back towards the wall behind you. So balance, strength, and a little flexibility. Heels come to the floor with an inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, rock into the balls of the feet and slide the fingertips back towards the wall behind you. One more time, heels down, arms up, breathe in. Exhale, balls of the feet, stretch the fingertips back. Hold for 3. Heels come to the floor, fold over the legs. Take an inhale, lift halfway up, lengthen the spine, and exhale as you fold further forward. Bring the elbows fanned out towards the side walls, tug against the legs. Come into that deeper stretch. Lower your hands to the floor, take a big step back with the right leg. Stay on the ball of the back foot, bend deeply into the front knee. Pull the belly in towards the spine. Hug the inner thighs towards each other. Rise up onto the middle 3 fingers. Rotate palms of the hands towards each other. Activate the legs, so squeeze the inner thighs inwards. Nice strong legs. Take an inhale and reach the arms up overhead. If that's too much on your lower back, just draw the arms slightly further forward. Exhale, slide the arms back behind you and rotate your thumbs towards the sky. Lock the elbows. Inhale, stretch the arms forward as much as you can, thumbs to the ceiling. Exhale, fingertips graze the floor, slide back behind you, thumbs towards the sky. 2 more times. Inhale, reach forward, thumbs up. Exhale, reach back, thumbs up. Last time. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reach back, thumbs to the sky. This time, drop your right fingertips to the floor, stretch the left arm overhead, thumb to the ceiling again. Circle the arm out to the side, spinal twist. Focus on the rib cage, not so much the upper arm. Circle the arm all the way back behind you. And finally, straighten out the front leg. Release the crown of the head towards the top of the foot. And bend the front knee. Push off the back foot, step forward, and fold. Thumbs come to the hip crease, tops of the thighs. With an inhale, pull your hips forward to rise up. Tadasana. Stretch the arms up overhead. Inhale. Fold forward, sliding from the hip crease. Exhale. Lift halfway up, breathe in. A deeper forward fold, exhale. Fingertips to the mat, step your left foot back. Engage your core and see if you can balance the effort between both the front and the back legs. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Visualize the right hip crease here, deepening to slide the outer right hip back. Pull the belly in tight to the spine. Rise up onto the middle 3 fingers. Rotate the palms to face each other. And with an inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. Or again, you could just have fingertips grazing the mat. The legs are still working equally as hard, but less weight on the back. And slide the hands back. Rotate thumbs towards the sky. Lock your elbows. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, thumbs to the sky. So it's just upper body, arms moving, not the legs. Exhale, slide the arms back, thumbs to the ceiling. Inhale, reach the arms forward, thumbs up. Exhale, slide the arms back, thumbs up. Last time, breathe in, reach forward. And exhale, slide the arms back, rotate thumbs to the sky. Adding on, take your left fingertips to the floor. Inhale, stretch the right arm back up. Find your twist to the right. Again, through the rib cage. Circle the arm all the way back. Fingertips to the floor, straighten out the right leg and fold. Bend the knees, step forward, fold forward. Reach the arms to the sides, inhale, rise all the way up. Interlace the hands behind the head. Pull the hips forward, press the back of the head into the hands. Squeeze the elbows back, strengthen the upper back, shoulder blades towards the spine, breathe in. Hinge to the right, exhale. Pull the hips forward, lean the head back. Inhale, center. Exhale, hinge left. Inhale, center. Fold forward over the legs. Push your feet into the floor and hinge from the hip crease, tops of the thighs. As you come all the way down, draw the elbows towards each other, stretch out the neck. Lower the hands down, step your right foot back, find a nice deep lunge. Take your knee to the floor, pad up the mat beneath your knee. If that's useful, plant the right hand. Take the left arm overhead, lift the thumb up towards the sky. Inhale, open up to a twist, turn left, and take the hand to your low back. Slide the tailbone down towards the back heel, keep rotating to face left, but from the rib cage. Now bring awareness to your left knee. Squeeze the left knee in towards the midline of the body, so hug the knee in. And release the left hand to the inside of your front foot. Pivot the right heel to the floor. Fold forward, crown of the head towards the arch of the left foot. Deepen your left hip crease as a way to slide the outer left hip back. So sliding the hip back rather than dropping the hip out to the left. Bring the left forearm to the front thigh. Take an inhale and stretch your right arm up. Use the arm to guide the knee towards the baby toe, but pull the hips and pelvis forward. Drive down through the left heel, lift up the left toes, spread them, shift the weight into the ball of the big toe, and soften the toes back down. Inhale as you come on up to warrior B, arms outstretched. Imagine dragging that left heel in towards the middle of your mat. See if you can feel the inner thigh muscles engage. And take the right hand down, turn your left palm to the sky, stretch fingertips towards the ceiling. Deepen the bend in that front knee as you trace the ceiling towards the back wall. Inhale, back up through center. You could circle the right arm up and overhead, pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Straighten out the front leg as much as you can and fold. Bend the knee, step forward, come to the top of the mat, and fold forward. Reach to the side, take an inhale, rise all the way up. Hands to the heart center. Stretch the arms overhead, breathe in. Fold over the legs, exhale. Lift halfway up, breathe in. And a deeper forward fold, breathing out. Lower the hands down, take a big step back with the left leg. Bend into the front knee, press back through the left heel. Lower your knee to the floor, you're still pressing back through the left heel. Plant the left hand, stretch the right arm up, thumb to the sky. Turn to the right twist, focus on the rib cage and the front knee squeezing in towards the middle of the mat. Hand comes to the low back, slide the tailbone towards the back heel, keep twisting. Knee squeezing inwards, inner thighs engaged, left heel pressing back. Release the right hand to the inside of the foot. Spin your left heel to the floor, fold forward, crown of the head towards the arch of the right foot. To prevent the right hip from dropping out to the right, deepen that right hip crease. And bring the right forearm onto the thigh. Push into the leg as you inhale. Stretch your left arm up, wrist aligning with the shoulder. Pull the hips forward, lean the upper body slightly back. And root down through the feet with an inhale, rise all the way up. Arms outstretched. Imagine squeezing that right heel in towards the middle of the mat. Take your left hand down, spin the right fingertips towards the sky. Reach up as you inhale, trace the ceiling with your fingertips. As you exhale, the left hand sliding down towards the back of the knee. Inhale all the way up through center. You can circle the left arm up and around. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot, fold forward over the front leg, straightening out the leg as much as you can. And bend the knee, push off the back foot, step forward, fold forward. And round your way up through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And find your way into tree pose with the right foot grounded. Bring the palms of the hands to me. Working with that similar theme, pull your hips forward, lean the torso slightly back, and squeeze the left knee back. Inhale, lift and lengthen along the front line of the body. Exhale, feel a softening, shoulder blades descend along the back line of the body. Take the left hand to the inner leg, guide the knee back, stretch the right arm up, and hinge just slightly to your left. And come back up through center. Lower the foot to the floor, change sides.
So hips squeeze forward, torso leans slightly back. Squeeze the right knee back. And take the right hand inside of the leg. Stretch the left arm up. Inhale. And a little hinge over to the side. And come back through center. Lower the foot down. Come to the top of the mat. Arms reach up overhead with a deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward, hinge from the hip crease. Lift halfway up, inhale. Exhale to a deeper forward fold, tug against the legs. And lower your hands to the floor and step back, downward facing dog. Your full downward facing dog, connect with stillness. Slide the mat forward with your hands, drag the mat back with your feet, wrap the upper arm bones downwards towards the floor. Bring your knees to the mat. Find your way to your version of child's pose. That is any restful posture, essentially, that enables you to re-deepen your breath and bring your awareness onto that breath. Inhale for a count of 4 and breathe out for a count of 4. Come forward, hands and knees. Interlace the fingers as you lower down onto the forearms. Extend the right leg, turn the toes under, press back through the right heel. Keep the left toes down, but hover your left knee above the mat, pressing the forearms down. Squeeze the belly in towards the spine. If you want to also hover your toes above the floor, you can go ahead and do that. But a good place to start is just hovering your knee above the mat. Forearms down, space between the shoulder blades presses up towards the sky. Hold for 3. And then instead of resting, extend the left leg all the way back. Forearm plank. Drag the elbows towards the toes and the toes towards the elbows without actually moving either one. Hold for 3. Take your right knee to the floor. Press back through the left heel. Pull the belly in, shoulder blades towards the sky, keeping the right toes down, hover the knee above the mat. So now you might definitely feel that this is more than enough, but if you want to also hover the toes, hold for 3. Extend the right leg. Now you could take both knees down. You're still actively working the core. This is not cheating. Hold for 3. You might also feel all of the extra work on the upper body, on the shoulders, the upper back. And bring your knees to the mat. Again, find your way back to your version of a child's pose. If the hips come all the way back towards the heels, or if you're sitting on a block, it can be nice to take the arms alongside of the body. Widen across the upper back. Feel the shoulder blades separating away from the spine. Hands under the shoulders, press into the palms. Lift your head up. Swing the legs over to the right. Take them directly out in front, but with your feet
wider than hip width distance apart. Bring the hands behind you, fingers point towards the side wall. Take the hands far enough back that you can bring all of the weight into the palms of the hands. Then drop the knees out over to the right. You'll rock to the outer edge of one foot and the inner edge of the other foot. Come back through center, drop the legs out over to your left. Back through center, drop them back out over to the right again. Then take the left arm around for a gentle twist to the right. Come right up back through center, swing the legs up through center, drop them over to your left. Take the right arm all the way around for a gentle twist to the left. Back to center as you face forward and take a wide space between the legs. Fold over the legs, still imagining that hip crease deepening to maintain a long spine as you walk the hands forward. And maybe now you notice if you can come any deeper into the stretch now versus the very first time at the beginning of the class. Relax the toes. See if you can both relax the toes and push forward with the mounds of the big toes. So you're not doing that with the toes, the digits themselves, but sliding through the inner seams of the legs, mounds of the big toes, press forward. Again, try to do that without clenching the toes. It's easier said than done. And walk back up through center. Use your hands to guide the knees together. So be in a relatively comfortable position, Baddha Konasana. Take the fingertips in behind you. Roll the shoulders back and down, press into your fingertips. Lift your heart center. And face forward, spinal twist. Left hand comes onto the right knee, but use the hand to guide the knee closer to the floor as you turn to face right. Come to neutral, keep holding on to the knee and take the right arm up and along the plane of the cheek. Now use the hip muscles on the knee side to pull the hand down towards the floor. Back up through center again. Tent the fingertips behind you. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift your heart center. Anchor the sitting bones down. Maintain a nice long spine. Right hand comes to the left knee. Press the knee down towards the floor as you turn to face left. Keep the hand on the knee, face forward. Take the left arm up and along the plane of the cheek and see if you can use your hip muscles to pull the hand towards the floor. Then back up through center, and to neutralize the spine, fold forward any amount over the legs. And back to center. Guide the knees together, come to the top of the mat. Take the arms alongside of the body. C shape with the spine, so drop the belly back towards the spine, send the tailbone towards the heels, curl down, one
vertebra at a time. Walk the heels in towards your hips, lower the arms down. Press the whole back of the arms from fingertips to backs of the shoulders downwards into the mat, and then root down through the feet for just a baby bridge. No pinching in your lower back. Drag the heels towards the hips, keep the inner knees moving in towards each other, and then push your knees forward. So nice and long through the front side of the body. Press the backs of the shoulders down and lift your spine towards your heart center, then the heart center towards the ceiling. Hold for 3. Curl down 1 vertebra at a time. Bring the right leg in, interlace your hands in behind your right thigh and straighten out the leg. Press through the heel. Bend the knee, point the toes. Press through the heel, re-straighten the leg. Bend the knee, point the toes. Press through the heel, leg straight. Last one, bend and point. Press and elongate. Take your right foot to the floor, draw the left knee into the chest, interlace your hands behind the thigh. Sole of the foot to the sky as you press the heel towards the ceiling. Bend the knee, point the toes. Leg straight, heel pressing. Bend the knee, point. Leg straight, heel presses. Last time, bend the knee, toes point. Sole of the foot to the sky, leg straight. And lower the foot all the way down. Walk both feet forward as you find your way into your final relaxation. Drop the feet out to the sides away from each other. Rotate your palms to face the sky. Tuck your shoulder blades down your back. Send the buttocks muscles forward towards the heels. You might even press into the feet if you need to scoop the tailbone under. Feel the skin of the scalp moving towards the shoulder blades and the shoulder blades down the back. Take 3 of your longest, deepest inhalations. And your fullest exhales. And allow your breath to settle into a natural rhythm, whatever that is for you. But release any effort to control the breath. And then mentally repeat. Relax my hands and my feet. Smoothing out the skin on the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands. I relax all 10 fingers and 10 toes. I soften my ankles, shins, and knees. And feel the downward pull of gravity on the thighs, hips, and pelvis. Allowing the lower back to soften and relax. I soften the rib cage, which houses the internal organs. I notice the beating of my heart. The soft rise and fall of the belly. I broaden my collarbones and allow the backs of the shoulders to release. I feel the weight of my head on the earth and soften the cranial bones. Unclenching the teeth, I allow the tongue to rest away from the roof of the mouth and in behind the lower teeth. Right here, right now, without changing a single thing. I am at peace. I am content. Soaking up the benefits of the practice in these last 10 breaths. Bring your awareness to your breath and start to breathe more deeply. Awaken the body, wiggle the fingers and the toes. Rotate the wrists and ankles a couple of times in both directions. Inhale through the nose. Extend the arms overhead, lengthen the spine, point the toes. And through the mouth, exhale. Bring the knees to the chest. Rock and roll forward and back and side to side. And find your way back to a seated, cross-legged position with the eyes closed and the palms of the hands together at the heart center. Sealing the practice in unity with the sound of Om. Take a conscious breath in. Om. Namaste. Thanks for coming.